Welcome to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. Right now, I am sitting beside Lincoln Jesser in a tour van.
Hello, my citizens of the world.
Hi, Lincoln Jesser. Normally, I do interviews in the tour van of the act that I'm interviewing, but we're sitting in someone else's tour van.
We are. We're sitting in my friend's Mansions on the Moon's van. But yeah, I would probably have to say the art on the outside actually is pretty stellar. It definitely makes a statement. Everyone knows that we're here and we're ready to party.
If we were in your tour van and talking, what's one thing that you would show me and be proud of?
I think I'd probably stash a yoga mat in the back and, kick a little vinyasa flow when I could get it in.
What is your favorite yoga pose?
Oof. Wow. Probably a little Warrior 2 action. Yeah, makes me feel pretty strong and alive.
For people who don't do yoga, could you describe that pose in detail?
You kind of have one leg. I'm trying to for all of you listeners out there, I'm trying to do a caricature of this while seated in a van. But you extend your front leg, either left or right, and you bend the knee so that your thigh is parallel to the ground. So you're in kind of an extended squat position, and then you reach both of your arms out to the fullest of your arm span, and so it kind of looks like you're a warrior drawing a bow back, and you hold it there for a couple minutes, and it definitely you feel the burn. It's nice though. I'll be offering lessons all week in Vancouver.
Sign up on his website.
Yes, LincolnJesser.com, SoundCloud.com/LincolnJesser, all that.
You are actually a musician, so I would love to play my favorite track of yours. It's called Untold. It's off your record, Modern Color. How about you give me one sentence to tease the listener as I'm bringing that track up?
Listeners, I'd like to invite you into my world, a world of inner peace, a world of wonder. Here is Untold.
I'll unfolds. Everything you know remains untold.
Welcome back to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Untold by a man called Lincoln Jesser. I'm sitting beside him in a van on a bench seat right now. I'd love it if you could tell us a little bit about that track.
It is one of my personal favorites as well. Yeah, I love it. You know, it's that perfect mix to me of what I'm striving for, which is visceral impact combined with sort of lyrics that mean something to me and that hopefully means something to a lot of other people. So I'm proud of it.
Lincoln Jesser, you've said that world events, films, and books influence your music more than one musician these days. So I'd love you to pick one.
Do research. I like it.
I do the reading sometimes.
Good. You know, reading's important.
So I'd love for you to take one world event, film, or book and talk about how it's influenced your music.
One of recent note was the book The Alchemist. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but The Alchemist actually influenced that song that you guys heard just earlier, Untold. It's written in the style of sort of ancient parable or legend sort of type deal, and it's this young guy's quest to visit lands unknown. He's a shepherd, and he decides that it's just in his nature to go out and explore the world. That's what he's built and put here to do. It's basically just saying that you're in control of your own reality, and you have so much potential within yourself to create like a heaven on earth if that's what you so desire. So, and that's to me what Untold is about. You know, everything you know begins to unfold. Everything you know remains untold. It's all within you, and it's up to you to bring it out.
Lincoln Jesser, can you tell me how you knew you wanted to be a musician?
Well, when I was very young, I used to run around with a stick or whatever I could find and pretend I was a conductor. So it started pretty early on. But when I was in high school, I founded a band with a couple of my friends called Technicolor Wolves, and not to brag, but we kind of ran the school, and it was a great experience. And so ever since then, I just knew that this is something that I never didn't want to be doing. It's just one of the things that's really made me feel the most alive. So I'm going to do it for as long as I can.
I actually read a different story, and in that story you talked about doing a cover to impress a girl.
Oh, that's true. I guess if you want to go back to the true genesis of it. Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to hear such a sweet story?
You know, there's quite a few events that all sort of sparked further and further that drive, that desire to live life as a musician and an artist. But yeah, that was definitely a turning point. A girl that I was, you know, in young love with, I wanted to do something special for her, so I decided to cover Green Eyes by Coldplay. She has beautiful green eyes. And, you know, I have to say it went pretty well, and I was like, maybe there's something to this whole music thing.
I would love you to set the scene for me, because that sounds like something right out of a cute teen movie.
It was very cute, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, we were definitely feeling the vibes from each other. She was the new girl. She just moved into town from up north in the Northwest, Northern Oregon, I believe it was. Or no, Northern Washington, so even closer. I was obsessed with Coldplay's first two albums at that stage in the game. They're beautiful albums still. And I had a little janky 8-track recorder type thing and an acoustic guitar, and I just had a feeling that, you know, it could lead to something good, so I recorded it in my bedroom, and brought it into school the next day, and I handed her I don't even remember, it might have even been a Walkman, to be completely honest with you. I may have burned a CD and put it on a Walkman and said, listen to this, and we were sitting on some steps, and she listened to the song, and first kiss shortly thereafter.
Aww. Can you sing a little bit of that song for us? Because Chris Martin has a very distinct voice. You have a little bit of a different voice.
A little bit. Wow, you're putting me on the spot here. Honey, you are a rock upon which I stand, and I came here to talk. I hope you understand. The green eyes, yeah, the spotlight shines upon you. And how could anybody deny you? That's all you get for now, but come to one of my shows and maybe I'll serenade you guys all.
Sounds perfect. All right, so I think that it's time to play another Lincoln Jesser song, and I'm going to play Wicked Sun.
Sounds good to me.
So how about you tease the listeners with one sentence about this song?
This song was the result of a minor argument with my mom, but after she heard it, she forgave me.
I'm noticing a theme in your life.
Which is?
Singing songs to make good with women.
You know what? You pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one.
I always was the wicked son, getting tangled up in everything, but I always knew how to have fun, so I can finally show you what I've learned. I always was the wicked child, learning all my knocks the hard way. There's something you should know. 'Cause I'm a wicked son till my days are done. But I live for love, and I'm always good to my mother. Crew. The teachers hated us since middle school, 'cause people always fear the new, but I still keep the faith they'll come around. I always was the wicked child, learning all my knocks the hard way, and maybe I'm just growing slow. But nonetheless, there's something you should know. 'Cause I'm a wicked son till my days are done. But I live for love, and I'm always good to my mother.
Welcome back to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Wicked Sun off the record Modern Color by Lincoln Jesser. I have Lincoln Jesser trapped in a tour van with me answering questions. Lincoln, before we listen to the song, you said this song was about a fight you had with your mom. I read that the fight was over her catching you smoking marijuana.
I can't deny it. I can't deny it. It's true. But, I was always, growing up, I wasn't a troublemaker per se. I never did anything to hurt anyone or anything malicious, but, I definitely liked partying above my age level, I guess you could say. I like hanging out with older people and pushing my comfort zone and stuff like that. And my mom's just a beautiful person, and she just wanted to protect her sweet little kid. And so sometimes that caused little differences of opinion. And so this one time, she happened to catch me smoking some greens, and she wasn't too happy about it. But it was actually right around the time of Passover, which is a Jewish holiday. A lot of people might know about it. And I was just inspired by the idea of the 4 sons. There's the wicked son, the wise son, the simple son, and I'm kind of spacing out on the 4th son at the moment, but it just kind of jumped out at me as like this funny concept, and all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, the song was pretty much there.
Lincoln Jesser, you do everything yourself for this project. It can get a bit lonely being in your own head all the time. How did you cope with that while writing this record, Modern Color?
To be honest with you, writing the record was sort of...
Lincoln, could you always be honest with me?
You know what, I am. I actually have been very open and honest with you, so... But I
appreciate that.
Let you know that I'm letting you into the even darker depths of my emotions. It's getting real vulnerable up in here, is what I'm saying.
I appreciate that more than you know.
I appreciate, all the love that all you guys are sending out to me. So, right, the album, finishing it was a little bit of an isolating process. At the time it was tough, but once it was finished, it just really was worth it. I felt great, and I felt kind of cleansed in a way, emotionally cleansed. These things that had been trapped in my mind running circles were finally free out there, and it helped me to make sense of a lot of the things that I was feeling at the time.
Being alone a lot to get this done is difficult. So, what's one tip you'd offer someone else who needs to get the stuff inside them out?
For me, going out on the road and meeting all these people and performing the song live is such a good, rewarding feeling. So a lot of times it helps to put yourself in the place of listening to the song, visualizing yourself performing the song live, interacting with the fans, visualizing the way their faces look as they're hearing the songs and experiencing them and having a great time. That really gives me the motivation to keep pushing through past the point when I may, I'm in love with all the songs that I make, but to really get them from a 85% place where I'm happy with them to a 100% happy with them is a very tough final push sometimes. So you have to know that you're not doing it for no reason. You're doing it because the feeling you're going to get seeing other people react to that finished product is going to be just so worth it.
So, Lincoln, you grew up in the desert of California near where the Coachella festival happens. Thousands of music fans converge on that area every year for the music festival. What's it like having your town invaded by passionate music fans?
I think it's great. Coachella's a great festival, and it's always like a vacation for me because I get to go home and hang with my family, and then I get to just go out and have fun at the festival. So,
tell me one crazy story from when you were a kid and you ran into some eccentric music fans in your hometown.
A crazy time. Well, the first couple years, it was a generally accepted sport to try to sneak into Coachella if you were from there. It was almost like a badge of dishonor. If you were paying for a ticket and you're from the Coachella Valley, you're doing something wrong. So a lot of my friends definitely hopped some fences, made some fake wristbands, all sorts of interesting scams to get in. So I think the locals are crazier than the tourists, to be honest.
I think that it's time to play another track. So I would love to play Something Right off your record, Modern Color. Can you give us a sentence about that one as I bring the music up?
If you're in the mood to party, you've come to the right place. There's something right.
Something's missing from the mind. Think about it every day since 95. People suffer all the time. Can't pretend to understand one reason why.
Welcome back to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Something Right off the record, Modern Color by Lincoln Jesser. I'm sitting here alone in the dark in the van with Lincoln himself. I'd love you to talk a bit about this track.
You know, I've been making music for a very long time, but only in the last year or so have I really sort of start to felt very, very confident in the direction that I'm taking it. And I just really feel like the hours that I've put in and trying to figure out what I want to accomplish and say as an individual artist is coming to fruition. And this song was one of the first that really clicked in that way. Yeah, I love Something Right. It's one of my favorite tracks to play live.
You were the guitarist for an artist called Yuna. I would love you to talk about what being a hired hand for a tour can teach you about what you do. I'd also love you to just tell the listeners, if they don't know who Yuna is, why she's so cool.
Yuna is one of my best friends in real life, and we both grew up loving the Strokes, a lot of the same music we really connected and bonded over. She needed a guitarist and someone to help her produce out some live tracks, and I happened to be there, and it was just a great matchup. So we went on the road for a couple years actually together.
Since we're talking a little bit about Yuna, in the background I will play one of her tracks. Which track of hers should I play and why?
How about Lullabies? And just because it's a beautiful track that was one of my favorite to play live with her.
So it's one thing that you learned unexpectedly that you're like, wow, I didn't know it would be like this, but now that I know it, Lincoln Jesser, the project is going to be even better.
I think when you're doing it independently, you realize sort of that people these days, the music is, of course, the most important thing, but people are looking for an experience. And you need to learn how to bring out emotions and feelings in people that go beyond just listening to a good song. Live, people go to see live music. People don't usually say, I'm going out to hear live music. They say, I'm going to go see a band, because they want to take something in that's bigger than just what they're listening to on the record. So, and Yuna is an incredible performer and absolutely beautiful, much prettier person than me. So, it definitely gave me a lot to look up to and to attempt to emulate in my own weird way.
Lincoln Jesser, thank you very much for sitting down with me today. At the end of the show, I love the artist to pick one of his tracks and talk about it as I bring up the music. So, it's up to you. What should we hear?
Maybe my new one, Golden. It went through a lot of manifestations before I really settled on the one that I loved. I just think it's a very simple track that I think will resonate with a lot of people and make people feel good.
Lincoln, thank you so much for being on my show and sitting with me alone in this van.
Thank you, Scott. Much love, all you guys.
Days go by in the blink of an eye, but the way I feel about you is a permanent truth. Hearts go cold in the stories we're told, but I've never been the type to follow all of the rules. Years melt under the heat of the sun, but the way I feel about you isn't going to change. Hearts go cold in the stories we're told, but the legend that we follow isn't one on a page. Let's let the light in. Let's make a lifetime moment. I wouldn't trade this. Here and now we're golden. Days go by in the blink of an eye, but the way I feel about you is a permanent truth. Hearts go cold in the stories we're told, but I've never been the type to follow all of the rules. Years melt under the heat of the sun, the way I feel about you isn't going to change. Hearts go cold in the stories we're told, but the legend that we follow isn't one on a page. Let's let the light in. Let's make a lifetime moment. I wouldn't trade this. Here and now we're golden. Here and now we're golden. Let's let the light in. Let's make a lifetime moment. I wouldn't trade this. Here in the now we're golden. Let's let the light in. Let's make a lifetime moment.